Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of She Collects Cards. By the way guys, I know you've been complaining a lot about my audio quality, but guess what guys, that is behind us because I got this brand new mic. Shout out to John who hooked me up with this awesome mic. It's super nice. I can even hear myself really well. So it'll be better production going forward, so I'm really excited. So let's get this show started. In today's episode, I'm going to show you our main bread and butter that this channel is built upon, which is basketball cards. Finally, basketball cards are back in action. Of course, I mean, don't get me wrong, NBA has been so boring the last few months, especially with my team, LeBron and AD being out. It's been a frustrating couple months, but basketball is back full on. Playoff is just around the corner, and not to mention the play-in that's going to happen. I mean, the teams that are up for it against right now is incredible. We got Portland on the 7th seed right now, fighting for the 6th seed with Lakers. I mean, can you imagine Dame Time coming out, just hitting a couple of threes from the logo? I mean, that will be insane to keep their 7th seed or maybe even 6th. And the Lakers going into the play-in, I hope not. And then you got the Grizzlies with Ja kind of coming back really healthy. And then, of course, let's not forget about the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it would be insane, right? If the Warriors take out the Spurs, which I think it can happen. If I had to put money on it, my bet is that the Warriors are going to beat them out. And then we have Dame Time going against Chef Curry. I mean, I think that's going to be a better show than most of the first round playoffs, in my opinion, on the Eastern Conference side. But anyways, a ton of drama to come ahead, a ton of good plays to come ahead. So basketball is finally back, y'all. All right, so let's talk basketball cards. Let's look at where the trends are and some opportunities that we have. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, to this channel. Like and comment on this video, super helpful. All right, let's get started. So we're here on Card Ladder. Shout out to Christina, who is one of the best female hobbyists out there right now, who is also running this amazing platform with just very few people. So shout out to her for managing this and just making it as amazing as it is. I use it almost every day, and I'm sure you do too, especially the application, the mobile application form of this. But all right, so the first player to look at here is actually from the Denver Nuggets, MPJ. And the reason why I want to look at MPJ is because he had his best career year yet. And I think it was coupled by a few things. One, he was an amazing player. I'm sure you guys know from high school and college, he was talked about by all the recruits all the time. But because of a very bad back injury, he wasn't picked first, second, third in his draft class, but instead he was picked 14th. But guess what? I think it was a gold nugget for the Denver Nuggets because he's been performing really well. And with Jamal Murray being out with his injury, he's getting more playing time. And I think the confidence level that I see whenever I see MPJ play is really admirable. And also you can see that he has a potential to be a very prominent player in the league. So let's take a look at his card right now. I will type it in here. Let's look at his silver PSA 10. The reason why I'm looking at PSA 10 silver is because I don't want to look at too high pop of a card. So this one, there's 1,800 of them. So for a modern card, that's not too many in my opinion. So saw the peak in the summer last year. And then we saw another slight peak, end of the year, early January when, everything was pretty much up. And then we saw the down. And then I think with him playing much better, and then with Murray's injury, we're seeing his card prices go back up. So his silver right now sitting at roughly $800. I do think there's a potential here. My price target for MPJ, given that the Nuggets have already made their clinch into the playoffs, so my price target for this is $1,000. Probably by the first and second round of the playoffs. So definitely a good opportunity in my opinion. And also, even if you don't want to do a short-term flip, this is a great hold for long term if you believe in MPJ and that he's going to be relevant in the league, which I think he will. Another card to look at, to gauge whether this basketball market is ready to fire up, you know what I mean? And it's hit the floor. Let's look at Anthony Davis PSA 10 base. This is a 2012, so first year of Prism cards. 1,400 of them. So again, not too many. And this is again his base PSA 10 card. It's been pretty flat, starting from last year, end of last year to now. I mean, it's declining a little bit here to right now it's at 1,900. And I think that has to do with his injury and, is the Lakers going to, be competing for a championship. But something to note here, and I'm sure you basketball fans out there, you know this year is again very different, just like the bubble. I think there can be many upsets, and with the play-ins, like let's say the Warriors make it into the 8th seed and Portland secures the 7th or something like that. Like there are so many scenarios, and then like you have Luka Magic who can just come out, do ridiculous things, especially in the Western Conference right now. It's really, I think, a coin toss in my opinion. In the top 4 or 5 teams that I like, and so. Yeah, the Lakers are 6th seed right now, potentially 7th if they don't get their crap together. But I don't think that makes the possibility of Lakers coming back and competing for a championship in the finals is like not possible at all. I think they're still a top contending team. And hopefully LeBron comes back healthy and AD, gets some of his rusty stuff out of the way. I think they're still good. I mean, because if you think about the supporting cast compared to last year, they have so many good players, veterans who can hold down the fort whenever AD and LeBron exits the game to rest. So $1,900 right now. My price target for this is $2,200 by the start of playoffs. If you own this, I would keep it. If you don't and you want to look for opportunities in basketball right now, this is a great buy in my opinion. And again, there are obviously many cards that you can buy right now, but what I'm showing you right now is specifically around basketball cards with players that are currently playing in the league. So moving on, another big team in the Western Conference right now, and literally the only difference that they had from last season to this season is CP3. Incredible. I think it's today's his birthday. Happy birthday, CP. So let's look at Devin Booker from the Suns. His Prism 2015 Prism PSA 10. Again, this is a base card. I'm not looking at any silvers or color parallels here, but his card has consistent been, it saw the decline, I think, earlier this year because of the focus on legends and Hall of Famers. It did come back up though because of how well Suns are performing. Right now it's at 900, so it's back to where it was, before the big spike in late last year. Tremendous buy. I mean, Devin Booker, although he's not in the MVP discussion, I think this year, I think that Suns have a great shot, and so for a short-term play, this could potentially be a decent play. It's at $900, $910 right now. My price target for this is $1,000. So let's go to the Eastern Conference right now, right? So I watched both of the Bucks Nets game back to back that happened a few days ago, and it is incredible. I mean, yes, Nets don't have Harden, but they had KD, they had Kyrie Irving, who were just it's just not fair. Whenever I watch those games, I'm like, it's not fair, but I'm sure that's how everybody else felt when KD was teaming up with Clay and Curry in Golden State. But yeah, watch those games and you think, man, KD's playing so well. Kyrie just hitting those clutch shots. Yes, they're missing Harden, who, when he's on, he's on. But when he's off, he's quite off. And we all know that. So they were down a man. But I do think that they had enough missile to shoot, for sure. And enough ammo, because they had Griffin on the floor. I mean, they had everybody else healthy, right? Going against Giannis, not just Giannis, actually. I think Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday is super critical to that team's success, and they have a really good chemistry. There were some turnovers that Giannis did where I was like, if this is playoffs and you made that kind of crucial mistake, like 1 minute down to the game and you're like, up 3 points, probably not acceptable, but hopefully he will take it a little bit more seriously and he will, kind of fine tune those like key moment plays. But man, Bucks look good, killed it, right? Giannis came out on top. The Bucks really worked well through the pressure moments of last minutes down the stretch, and they came out on top. So those of you who think that Nets are gonna just blow it out at the park and go to the finals and face whoever it may be from the West, whether it's Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, Suns, I mean really a coin toss on the West, I don't think it'll be that easy for them. There's obviously 76ers as well, although I am not fully convinced that Joel Embiid will kind of come out with like the playoff caliber. I think just the mentality aspect of this is so important. I don't know, maybe him and Ben Simmons like went through some crazy changes over the summer, but yeah, like I think that Eastern Conference, there's going to be some very, very fun game to watch. So let's look at Giannis's Silver Prism PSA10. I think this is 2013 that we'll be looking at. Look at that, guys. So there's only 75 of these out there. So very little. If you look at the trajectory, the price really never moved. And part of the reason, of course, is because there's just not many out there. So if you have one, you're probably not selling it, right? So price fairly, like sustained, like from 30, it's down from 30K to 28K. Let's say Giannis goes to the final. Do you think that this price will go up or down? I bet that it will go up, like crazy up, because this price right now, as you can see, does not include the assumption that they're going to win playoffs or they're going to win the Eastern Conference final, because the price literally hasn't moved since the end of last year. So when you have like a surprise element come in where Giannis beats the Nets, this is game over. But even if they don't, Giannis, great hold. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to him and the Bucks, but I think those 75 of you out there who's holding this card, good job. So this is my price point for this. If Giannis wins, I mean, it's 50K plus. And then if they win the finals, I mean, you're not going to find this card anywhere, I think. Let's take a look at Kyrie's 2012 Prism PSA10. Let's look at his base card again here, so that the price is a little bit, we have more sort of volume to look at. So there's only 723 of these out there as well, so not too many. And that's the thing about 2012s is that, even though it's a Prism, it's almost, 10 years old, so you won't see that many cards that gem. But who knows, with PSA returning back millions of cards in the next few months, maybe we'll see this number go up to 1,000. Who knows? But this card peaked along with like the GOAT conversation, along with like the Hall of Famers, and then it's come down. And I think this has to do not necessarily with his performance or like the Nets performance, but more so with like Kyrie's like controversial and like very discreet kind of PR management, I would say. And he really doesn't care what other people think, which I think it's a good character to have, especially when you have such a big presence and big platform. You really don't care what people say about you and your actions, but it does impact these sort of like rippling assets like his cards or his merchandise and things like that, because he's losing fans day by day. So that's what's going on here in my opinion. But again, it's sitting at $1,100 right now, which is still up from last year of like less than $300 probably before then, if we look at the 2-year here, right? If we look at May of 2020, yeah, $240, and now it's at $1,100, so not a bad bad money made there. But if the Nets continue to perform well, I don't think that actually this card will shut up like past 1,500, because I do think that the expectation of them winning the title and even winning the Eastern Conference Final is already built in to the buyers' sort of expectation, and so you won't see like crazy upsides on this. But hey, if you're a Kyrie fan, if you're a Nets fan, and if you feel like he's gonna win it all, not a bad play. Next up, let's take a look at our dear Ben Simmons, PSA 2016. Gosh, still can't believe he was #1 pick. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he was that good. Anyways, his 2016 Prism, there's 1,300 of these, so let's actually look at a little bit lower pop, but decent amount of volume. Okay, so there's 136 of them, so maybe not too many of these out there right now. His price has been kind of going down. I think that's rightfully so. So again, like look at here, right? Just now we were looking at Kyrie's card being around 1150, 1120, and then that was a base PSA 10, and then Ben Simmons, his silver PSA 10 is $1,220 dollars, which but the pop is super low here too, 136. So what I think here is, yeah, and yes, like this is a 2016 card, that's a 2012 card, different factors going in, but I don't think that this price has Philly winning Eastern Conference Final built in. Last but not least, this was a card that was popping during playoffs last season, and that is my dear old Jimmy Butler rookie card. Guys, but not many people thought that the Miami Heat was going to be in the finals, right? But when it did, I mean, the price that the daily price movement of this card was insane. Like, it was going from 600, and then it was going to 900, and then boom, it hit over 1,000, all the way up to 1150. It was insane. But of course, it was, only due for a decline. And then Miami didn't really have a good start of the season, and they still don't actually have a good start of the season. But I think that Miami is going to make playoffs, and if they do, guess what? Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets, his 2012 Prism is going to fly back up. Maybe not all the way up to 1,100, but it's certainly not going to stay at 430, because no one, absolutely no one, maybe a couple people in Vegas, right, is expecting them to win or even like go past the first round. So $430, 558 pop, super low. And then last but not least, man, what a surprise of events here. Guys, like, they said that he was going to be out for the entire season. I think it was a total PR play, in my opinion. I mean, they knew that he was going to come back, or maybe he's like Superman, Iron Man, I don't know. Like, he was supposed to be out for the whole season, and boom, like day before a game, they announced that he's going to come back. And you guys know how excited the Hornets announcer was. Anyways, LaMelo Ball. Let's talk LaMelo Ball. I know, very controversial. I know a lot of people like him, a lot of people don't like him. A lot of hype, obviously. I think he's definition of current day asset in 2021. Like, there's so many controversies, but it keeps going up. But one day it'll probably decline like it has never done before. But it continues to go up to the point it's so scary. So someone told me, an inside source told me that his jersey number, so 2 out of 10 gold Prism, rookie Prism, went for $80K. Raw. $80K. Do you know what you can buy with $80K right now? You can buy effectively almost 3 Michael Jordan Fleer 1986 PSA 9s. What else can you buy with $80K right now? You can buy like so many different types of Kobe Bryant's rookie cards, but that's what it went for. A raw, right? So we don't even know if it's going to PSA 10 or BGS 10. A raw jersey number 2 out of 10 gold Prism went for $80K cash. So with that, let's take a look at LaMelo's card. So, Hornets, I think they have a very big shot. It's kind of like the Warriors on the west side right now. Like, if they make it in, if they make crazy plays, it will happen. Like, LaMelo Ball comes back, Malik Monk is healthy, and they like put on a crazy show, they're gonna make playoffs. And guess what? If they do, like, this was the price of his PSA 10. And guys, these are all the people that paid $300 to get his cards graded, okay? So there's obviously a premium to this right now. Only 47 of them. I can't guarantee how many of them there are going to be in like 12 months. Maybe I think it'll be like 6,000 next year. Who knows? Anyways, so while he was injured, his price continues to sustain $1,100, $1,200. Right now it's at $1,200. Let's say Hornets make the playoffs. Do you think this goes up or down? I say this goes up. And it's going to go, my price target for this is $1,500. But would I necessarily buy this card right now? I wouldn't. But this is definitely an indication of the basketball market coming back up, guys, because the moment you start to see these prices tick up, basketball is back. It's back. So I necessarily wouldn't buy it right now because I, just don't like that I'm buying a base Prism 2020, like from the year 2020 for $1,200, where I can like effectively go buy like Anthony Davis or Devin Booker or Kyrie Irving for the same price. Because LaMelo, he's amazing. I get it. He may be like rookie of the year, but he hasn't done anything. Like he somehow like announces retirement today. Who's gonna care? No one. So I personally wouldn't go for this, but this is a good indicator of the basketball market certainly rebounding. I think soon, very, very soon. As I mentioned in my previous video, with Dallas Card Show, one of the biggest card shows here in the United States, happening on the weekend of when the play-ins, so the tournament style for 7, 8, 9, 10 seats on both conferences happening, as well as playoffs starting. I mean, it's going to be absolutely insane. There's going to be games played everywhere. People are going to be, trading, switching, like buying, selling cards all around. It's going to be absolutely insane. And I've mentioned this before. Shows are typically where there's like these accelerated, movements happen and like the trends get set. In my opinion, that I've been to, at least, like you go and observe. This is why it's important to go look at shows and go attend shows if you can, if you have one around your area, or if you are vaccinated and you want to travel. Like, you go there, you see what people are buying and selling, you get an understanding of the market, like physically. You're not just looking on eBay or looking at different charts and graphs and trying to understand what is the demand looking like, what is the supply looking like, but you literally feel it before it gets into the data systems in eBay API, and then it gets populated into, whether it's Card Ladder or Market Movers, things like that. So you essentially are in the middle of the action. So it's really important that you attend these shows to see, what is coming up next, because it usually sets the trend for the next few weeks. Anyways, that's my take on the basketball card market right now. We are due for a rebound, and it's going to happen, guys. And I'm so excited with all these basketball inventory that I have. I'm so excited to see these cards go up in value. Anyways, thanks for tuning in again, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. Helps out tremendously. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, feel free to leave them in the comments. Feel free to DM me as well on Instagram. Always here, and I will see you in the next video.